What's going on, guys? This is the Gainz Podcast with
Roman Long
and Antoine. Episode 18. What is going on again, baby? Speaking of that, Kawhi Leonard he got MVP yesterday.
Oh, really?
In the All-Star game.
Nice.
If you guys didn't watch it, the NBA All-Star game, but we always say, "What's going on, baby?" for Kawhi Leonard. So, respect, shout out. But man, oh man, did you guys catch it? Short Gainz? We went live twice last week. But by the time you guys watch this, there might be another one. So 3 Short Gainz videos, maybe 4 if I post before this video comes out. 3 or 4 pending. But if you guys aren't watching it, what's Short Gainz, Roman?
Short Gainz is an abbreviated or an abridged version of the Gainz Podcast, where we give you the most bang for your buck. So if you're busy and on the go, but you want to still hear our voices, see our pretty faces possibly, but you only have a short amount of time, boom, Short Gainz is for you.
Yeah, and to Roman's point about the pretty faces, because we do have them. They are on YouTube only. As you could tell, Roman and I do take turns. So if you'll catch, we'll usually go hand in hand on switching off. So if you haven't followed Roman, I know most of the stuff is posted on my YouTube channel, and the Spotify account's both of ours, so, and the Buzzsprout, Stitcher, and all that, so that's pretty much, but the video version or the YouTube version, Short Gainz, since it's only going to be on that, we'll switch off both of our accounts. So if you do or you haven't followed Roman, go ahead and check him out. He also does a little bit more when it comes to like instruction / that stretching one is awesome. He goes in a little bit more detailed. Maybe I'll hit up more of a detailed Short Gainz episode for you guys. But in the last one, if you guys didn't catch it, he did one on the stretching and the warm-up. So that one's awesome. He gives you great examples. So if you haven't checked it out, what are you waiting for? Don't even finish this video. Go check it out.
Kept it under 5 minutes for you folks so you can watch it during your morning poop.
So if you don't know this by now, I guess pooping and cell phones go hand in hand these days.
They took over newspapers.
Maybe we should come up with, maybe I shouldn't bring this up, business idea. Well, you could just use wipes. Sanitary wipes for leaving the bathroom for your phones.
What if the next iPhone case has wipes that come out of it?
That'd be very bad for the environment. I can people, let's save the environment. Let's stop utilizing the waste if not needed. But
we did watch that video. The inefficiency, the breakdown of the wipes. These are the dude wipes. Oh yeah. Also, there's another YouTube video if you want to know, because I use baby flushable wipes for the bathroom. I'm not gonna say for any. Let's just keep your imagination going. Please don't use flushable wipes, man. That I didn't realize. I stopped using them. It's terrible for septic.
It's terrible. You might as well. All right, screw this. We'll go straight to the advice. After you're done going to the bathroom, immediately go in the shower. Rinse off and repeat. So if you're on 2-3 times a day,
only if you had spicy tacos the night before.
It's definitely not coming out clean. Oh gosh. Well, if you're still watching this video, episode 18, guys, we are trying to crush it for you guys. This one's going to be about equipment. Now, what equipment means to you, you could pretty much say a lot of things in the gym are part of the equipment. But we're going to only talk about the equipment that you would utilize for either support, to improve. I say quotation marks for the listeners only, because it might not improve.
Depending on your skill and your experience with the equipment.
Yeah, so improve / is there another one?
Augment, you could say.
Augment your training. Yeah. So maybe different ranges of motion. If you bench off a bench block, no range of motion? No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke, because it's literally 2 inches. But we're going to go over that today, where different styles of powerlifting may, tie with those. and as well as different sports of training. So we'll go over that. First, I'll go over the examples, and I already kind of told the definition. Roman will go a little bit more in detail in those examples and what sports might take a play in those examples. And then we'll go into that section of what's in the bag, what's not in the bag for Roman and I, as well as to finish us off, Roman's got some pretty interesting stats. I'm really sad you didn't do a case study again.
Yeah.
Like, 180-pound male goes in the gym. He has only wrist wraps. If he does 16 weeks of training, how much did his bench improve? Why do you do that for us, dude?
6.5%, of course.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Knock down out of the park. Let's go.
I'm really. I just thought about that right now. I'm getting upset, man. Can we do something where you do a case study?
Next week, our Gainz Podcast episode will have to be geared towards case study.
It'll be called Case Study File Number 45 for Roman Lai. Faux Doctor Roman Lai. That's your FMD, right?
Yes, fake
MD. Yeah. But anyways, so I'm just going to do a quick list. Some of these I might kind of explain what they are. If not, you can Google them, and it will be kind of self-explanatory before Roman kind of gets into more detail. But these might not be even all of them. I kept listing them, and then I would think of like two more. Listing them, think of two more. So if by the end of this you're like, man, there's something that Antoine and Roman missed, we might have. If not, maybe you guys are already using this or not using them. We'll kind of go into reasons why, or you might, which is pretty cool too. So
yeah, there's a lot of like interesting and new equipment coming out all the time. Like as an example, this is actually kind of cool. I had an organization reach out to me that makes a harness for teaching new lifters how to maintain neutral spine. So it was like a It was like a harness that you like put on yourself, and your like partner can like take you for a walk. No.
Yeah, you throw the leash on, you just pull them everywhere.
But I made an instructional video like way back when with like a PVC pipe, and I was like, okay, you can do this like at like your local gym type deal. This is how you can like teach yourself neutral spine. And they like fired back like, hey, great video, check out our product. So like stuff like that's coming out all the time. So if you find that you have you've heard of products that would be useful for us to either mention or to check out ourselves for our own lifting journeys, feel free to fire those over. I'd be interested in checking them out.
The only one I'm not going to check out, I mean, I'm not speaking on Roman's behalf, this is my behalf, that jaw sizer. If you mention that, I might have to report you / unfollow / hopefully call your parents after that.
There's 252 muscles in the face alone.
If you're chewing, if your dentist, the only thing you're gonna do is get your dentist rich. Your jaw is probably gonna get so banged up, and your teeth, like, man, I can only imagine you just chewing on like rubber. Like, have you ever chewed on like even a piece of gum for so long? Like, doesn't your jaw hurt? Like,
you like have to take a nap, man.
Yeah, because like your head's like you're gonna start like getting migraines, and you're like, dude, use the jaw sizer. I don't know what this guy like. Why am I getting migraines? It's gonna be because like you're chewing on a fucking hard piece of rubber.
Orange Theory, they have like a jaw size class.
Do they really?
No.
Oh. For $150 a month, unlimited jaw sizing class. Jaw sizer?
Yeah, just be mumbling the whole time because the instructor.
All right, so back to the examples, guys, because this is the third part of the episode that we've gone on a tangent. But so wraps, knee wraps, elbow wraps. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You would wrap the elbow or knee. I don't know if you want to. Did you write that down for the uses of that?
Under like single ply.
Okay, then don't even worry about it.
Lifting. I talked about like neoprene sleeves, like just briefly.
Hold off on that. Knee wraps and elbow wraps. Just wait till Roman kind of goes over that. We'll just throw that in there.
It pretty much creates compression at the joint.
Yeah.
Which can like. I call it leaking, but it can like prevent. It's intended to prevent or like slow the like the effect of your bar path, or just like the movement in general from like quote unquote leaking out of the joints, and to aid in being able to like execute the lift properly.
Yeah.
That's the best way I know how to describe it.
Yeah, and so in tangent of that, then you have knee sleeves and elbow sleeves, which I don't think you can get, I mean, unless you can forcefully rip up a tight sleeve, I don't think you'll ever be able to get as tight as a knee wrap or an elbow wrap, to my understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, at that point, how tight can you be before you lose circulation?
True. Get on the bar, quick.
But coach told me to wrap my knees as tight as possible. The coach also didn't mean that your calves and your ankles would be purple by the end of the squat. You just go down in the squat, can't even like feel your feet, and you just collapse. But anyways, then there's compression cuffs, almost kind of like an elbow sleeve or a knee sleeve, somewhat different. Then we have bands. You can pretty much either warm up with, which I like to do, throw them on a bench press. Yeah. You can also throw them on a rack when you're squatting, deadlifting. So on a different type of resistance when it comes to bands, chains. Chains has the effect of, hey, if I drop down the load at the bottom, the resistance won't be there as such. But when you're going on the concentric movement, when it comes to like, I would say a squat or a deadlift, bench too, the resistance will go up higher, the load will go up a little bit higher because you're lifting the chains up. And yeah, I don't want to probably say anything more because I want to definitely get through with this. So bands, and I said chains, belts, which Roman will go over well off, and there's different types of belts. You CrossFitters out there using that Velcro one all the time.
I love the Velcro one. That's the one I use.
There's straps. Straps are pretty much the way I'm saying it is the ones you'll use for most of the time pulling exercises / like maybe a deadlift. You can use straps on a deadlift. Yeah. But people with good grip like me don't need straps on a deadlift. I'm just messing with you guys. I've used straps on a deadlift. I just hate getting the setup with a belt on with straps. Very hard. I don't know how people do it, especially people that are heavier than me.
I've never pulled straps before.
With a belt and straps, it's rough. Yeah. Squat shoes, deadlift slippers. I threw that in there. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty much like a sturdier sock. Yeah. Sock, not stock. Your stocks have gone down this.
You need a sturdier stock. Call 1-800
Gainz.
555.
But yeah, deadlift slippers, if you haven't seen them, they're just like a sturdier sock. You actually put them over your socks because technically in a powerlifting meet, the rule is you have to have socks that are pretty much touching your knees.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Stephanie Buttermore.
So like knee high socks. I thought you were saying
No. I'm saying like you put it on still. They're like smaller than shoes.
Oh, interesting.
So
there is like it's not just like knee high socks. There's like special.
No, yeah, you put the knee high socks still on, and then you put the slippers on. I think it has to do with people who are like Roman or germaphobes, and they had to make something instead of deadlifting. And I think,
it's because of bleeding.
Well, yeah, and I don't think they want you putting your sweaty socks on like a platform. Yeah. So like, without being naked, when it comes to just wearing the knee high socks, I think when it comes to like different organizations, they don't want you just deadlifting with socks on. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Because some people like to deadlift with just socks on at the gym, and you can do that. Your gym might be fine with it, but like I don't think organizations want it. Yeah. And that's just my thoughts.
There can be like some like fungal bacteria, I think, which they might be like weary of.
Those stinky feet, man.
My understanding, like the reason why most organizations will have like a rule that you have to have like at least knee-high socks. Yeah.
That's the blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You don't want to bleed out on the bar.
You don't want any transmission of like bloodborne pathogens.
Other than deadlift slippers that I thought you would have heard of before. Gloves. But if you're listening to this, you probably don't wear gloves. Tape. I don't know why I put tape in here, but like I'm thinking of like people who like Olympic lift.
Yeah, some people do it on their fingers.
Yeah, and in me, probably don't want to take this advice. I've actually taped with my hand when my hand started to bleed when I deadlift. Probably should call it a day or put a glove on or something but tape's good for that. Just tape up the cut. Yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna move on. Deadlift jack. If you haven't used one, if you do deadlift, they're flipping amazing. Obviously, if your gym doesn't carry one, you probably don't need to buy one. Because the fact that they're like literally like a pretty big chunk of metal, but it pretty much goes on the bar. You lift it down. It allows you to put plates on a little bit easier. You don't have to lift one side up or try to slide a plate on. It's really rough. But to solve that problem, what I have, which I'll explain later what's in the bag, but it's on the list, is a deadlift wedge. All you have to do is, it's the same as putting a 5-pound plate underneath the bar. But it's a little bit fancier, It's the size of a plate. You roll it on there. You can load one side, load the other side, just roll it down. Bench board, which I mentioned earlier. Slingshot.
Can you imagine? Like, I'm kind of glad that I work out at like the gyms I work out at.
Because
but, like,
imagine
carrying 2x4s. Like...
Dude, I've seen people carrying barbells before, and it's like, what the hell, man? You might as well just go to a different gym.
Work out at your garage gym or something.
Yeah, there's a slingshot. Also chalk, liquid chalk, hip circle, which is also made by Mark Bell slingshot.
Holly Baxter, yeah, Baxter Nutrition.
She has her own now?
Lane Norton's wife. Yeah, they call it the hip circle, I think, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, hip circle in general. There it is, folks.
Yeah.
Don't need to put a name on the brand.
A lot of different like glute band options out there.
Yeah, hook wrap. Honestly, I never really liked them. It's pretty much like a wrist wrap, but with a hook on the palm. So, like, it's another grip tool where you don't have to grip it as much because it'll hook on a bar. Like, so if you're doing, like, lat pull-downs and you're seeing that your grip gives out when you want... You don't really... and also, you don't really want to use your grip and you want to engage lats. I don't know. I don't really like them. If anything, there's a metal piece in the middle and it, like, hurts the crap out of my hand.
Yeah. I would recommend just chalking up.
Yeah, chalking up or using straps.
Because usually I think grip is probably one of my limiting factors too, but that's been something I've worked on. You can definitely work on it yourself.
And the only thing I have other than that is a mouth guard, which I've been using lately because my dentist recommended. Because you don't really, if you see yourself clenching on with your mouth, clenching is not good for your teeth.
You could be giving yourself headaches too, stress headaches, just by like the amount of like pressure that you add to like the mandible, I think. That's what I've heard.
And we're talking about the jazzercise again.
Yeah, back to jazzercise.
But yeah, pretty much, I mean, it's like if you do work out, like if you want to do it, it's like a $20 to $30 piece. I've been using it lately. You don't have to. It just depends on if you wanted to spend the money. But other than that, those are the examples I wanted to go over with. And then, do you want to go over the raw and equipped? Since I pretty much talked a lot, I don't want to spend too much of my breath. And then go over kind of the details. Yeah,
so like there's a lot of equipment that Antoine just went over, and there's a lot that you can use and like bring to the gym that'll like help your experience. Like the most important ones I would say are some type of like comfortable shoe. If you're gonna do running, like a running shoe. If you're gonna do like a lot of barbell movements, some people report better like movement with a flat shoe. That's what I use. Mine are just like Pumas, but like Nike Metcons and like Nanos are pretty good with that.
Reebok powerlifting shoe, but they stopped making them. I think they're gonna make them again.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think they only sell like the older models if people sell them.
Yeah. And then I've seen a lot of like shoe manufacturers have started to accommodate for like a flatter like like overall foot too. Like Under Armour has one for like $50-$60 at like Kohl's. Vans.
You could do Vans.
A lot of people lift in Converse.
Yeah, Vans are like $20. I wouldn't suggest walking all the time or running in them, but Converse, Chuck Taylors.
And then some people, and these will probably end up costing you more. Some people prefer like a lifted heel for Olympic lifting, just because they find that allows them to get like greater dorsiflexion of the ankle. Some people say that they squat better with it too, or they can feel their quads more. So if you're using like a lifted heel for like quad hypertrophy type work in the gym, I've seen people have like 3 pairs of shoes that they carry out in bags before, and they'll just change like from lift to lift to lift.
Yeah, I can. That's why I can only do the heel shoes.
Yeah.
Like everything, the other pair of shoes has to be like with me, or that's too much stuff.
Mine are mainly just like athletic
shoes,
like a flat shoe. That's like pretty much all I really find that I need. But so there's a lot that you can use there. So like shorts or like sweatpants, depending on the time of year. Make sure that they're not restrictive. Shoes, typically speaking, usually have to have a shirt in most gyms. Instagram has kind of changed that. A belt, super useful, and I'll talk about like the different stages and like why a belt would be useful and like what type of lifts they're useful. But we're going to talk about raw versus equipped, right?
Yeah.
For powerlifting.
And then just go over the single ply, multiply. I just didn't want to go into it too much.
So there's if you're looking into powerlifting and you just started deadlifting, or if you've been deadlifting for a while, you'll see 2 main distinctions when it comes to powerlifting meets. You might see like the word raw being thrown around. So I have a definition from powerliftingwatch.com for how they define or they look at raw lifting. So their note is and I think this is just for like what a majority of organizations, but you have to check the organization you're lifting for. If it's like USAPL, for example, might be different from like another powerlifting organization. But allowing nothing more than neoprene knee sleeves, sleeves made out of wrap material are not allowed. Also compression shorts and or bike shorts, this is for raw lifting once again, are not allowed. Under singlet, video is recommended. This is for like records. And they talk about like calibrated weighted plates, so we don't have to get that far.
Yeah.
So that would be raw lifting, and then equipped lifting. There's mainly like 2 distinctions that you might see. One is single ply, so that'll be like the way they define it is essentially like just like one layer of material, and they'll typically say like a certain degree of thickness. Depending on like how serious you are, they might actually like have to like measure it out.
Isn't it like you're talking about like 3 millimeter, 5 millimeter?
Exactly. Yep. So that would be single ply versus multiply. Can be multiple layers of whatever type of like pliable material, and essentially like what you're looking for with equipped lifting is a type of like elastic energy that is like released during the lift. That's at like the sticking point or wherever. However, it's like particularly designed, and in a little bit we'll talk about some world records and like the large discrepancy that's between like raw, even like for the same people, compared to equipped. It's like within like the hundreds and hundreds of pounds for people that are like within like world record like holders. So it's pretty impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go over them now then?
Sure.
As I say, like we might as well. We'll do the what's in the bag after that.
So I thought it'd just be interesting to like, look up a couple like world records for you folks. So
that bench one is crazy.
The bench is insane. This is not like the all-time world record for bench. This is just somebody that I find like is kind of interesting, and he's pretty provocative in how he speaks. He's definitely,
and if you haven't like watched them, please watch him.
Yeah, he's very entertaining. So if you like benching at all, like you need to look up Scott Mendelson is his name. He's pretty insane, but he's a really cool guy. So his raw record. So Scott used to be like a very competitive world-class power lifter. He got into a motor vehicle accident, I believe, which like really trashed one of his legs. So he has to wear a boot when he benches now, and he pretty much only competes in like equipped bench pretty much. But I think he's made a couple of claims that he might make a comeback into raw and he still bench presses raw for like a lot of his training, but he also benches with like a bench suit, which is like a super crazy jacked up like slingshot pretty much.
Yeah.
It takes like 3 to 4 people to like get him into the suit. I think it's insane.
He doesn't squat or deadlift, right? He does. But
he doesn't do like full powerlifting meets anymore
because of that exit, right?
Because of the foot. Yeah. I think he still does squat like a little bit, but he says it's like nothing compared to what he used to. And I think it just like
when he says nothing compared to, it's probably still 400 pounds.
It's probably still the same. Yeah.
and this guy is like squatting 400 for reps, and we can barely squat 400 for one.
Yeah. So like for comparison's sake, right now he like, or when was this? I actually didn't put a date down, but he had the world record for the. I think he actually still holds the world record raw for the 308 pound class. So you have to be 308 pounds or less, and I think that's above 275 pounds. So he's probably around like 305, 306 when he did this. He benched 701 raw, 701 pounds raw, and then equipped. Let's see, this was for the 275 pound weight class. I think he's still the record holder at 1,030.7 pounds. So he had over a 330 pound discrepancy between his raw versus equipped. That's how much he's able to take advantage of the equipped lifting. So there's a lot of, you'll see like, if you're just getting into this, you'll see a lot of people in the community, they will like bash like multi-ply or like single ply or just equipped lifting in general. They'll say like, oh, people are cheating, da-da-da. It's not. It's a completely different skill set, and it's a different training set too. Yeah. It's completely distinguished from raw lifting, and it like is a different sport in and of itself. It would be like if we had like cyborg suits so we could play like football. Like I think people would still be like super interested in seeing that. It just wouldn't be like the NFL as it is today. It would just be a different sport, and that's I think like the best way to probably look at that. Mm-hmm. So that was for bench press. For squat, squat is also super ridiculous. So for raw. I think he goes by Optimus Prime on Instagram. His name's Ray Williams. Big Ray he's a really big guy.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast. In March 2nd of 2019, so just a little bit over a year ago, raw. So he was just wearing neoprene sleeves from the video that I remember. He was wearing a singlet. So it's a lot of powerlifting organizations will require that you wear some type of a singlet, essentially like the old like 1980s like dance videos and whatnot that you see. Like it's pretty much a requirement that you wear that. And then he was wearing a belt. That was it. So it's still like well within the rules of raw. He squatted 1,080 pounds on March 2nd of last year. Yeah, insane. And, like, the way he comes out of the hole, it's so impressive. He's so fast. Yeah. It looks like he has 135 pounds on his back. Yeah. And then for equipped, it's in the 308-pound class. They have the largest squat record that I could find on powerliftingwatch.com. It's by a guy named Jonas Rantanen. I think he's part of the Jonas Brothers, right?
Jonas.
Yeah,
I like how you said it still.
I think it's Jonas Rantanen. I think he's Finnish. Something like that. He squatted 1,267.7 pounds on, this was October 8th of 2011. So this record's held for almost 9 years now. He was closing on 1,300 pounds.
Probably pretty proud of it, too.
Yeah. So that's the 308-pound class. I think Ray Williams was in the super heavyweight, so that's just like above 308 pounds. I don't know exactly what he weighed, maybe like 320, 330 at the time. But I mean, still super impressive.
1,000 pounds almost over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I didn't take down the notes on deadlifts, but if you're interested, you can just go to powerliftingwatch.com. They have everything on clickable links. It's like really well laid out. So if you want to find somebody to like shoot after, you want to look up like Kaler Woolam's world deadlifting records. I think he's in 2 weightlifting classes. He's Dr. Deadlift, I think, on Instagram.
On Instagram, yeah.
He's very impressive for like how like light he is essentially. Hapthor Bjornsson deadlifted 1,053 pounds. He's calling it. He is the Mountain from Game of Thrones, and he's considered like one of the world's strongest like strongmen. Like that's currently like actively participates in strongmen. So 1,053 pounds. That's an unofficial world record, is what he's saying. And from what I could tell, if he ends up doing that at the Arnold's, if it's like on calibrated plates and is like overseen by some sort of like governing board or something like that, or he like sends in a video, then he can, if he hits that or above, he can be considered for the world record. Of note, I think Eddie Hall, who's also, now a former world strongman, he deadlifted over 500 kilos. I think it was just over 1,100 pounds, maybe like 1,105 or something like that.
Yeah.
That was back in, I want to say 2018, the world strongman. I think it might have been in a deadlift suit, though. It's since been attempted. I don't think anyone else has hit it yet in a deadlift suit. But yeah, Hapthor, he still has, I think, 3 more weeks before the Arnold's. He might be able to hit that, and that might be something to look out for, because he might go for it just for shins and grins.
That's going to be pretty fun to watch.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the Arnold.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So those are a couple of world records that I found that I thought were of note.
Sweet. Well, what's in your gym bag?
What's in my gym bag?
Like, what do you usually bring? Like, I mean, compared to like just general. Like,
I bring clips. Laura got me some clips, so I bring clips, which I just like having around. They're actually like super easy to like take on and off, so very convenient. Especially like if we're like working in like with each other. Sometimes like clips are just hard to find in the gym. Like they just disappear.
Very hard. They always disappear.
And then also, like if you have any grip issues, like you might find like the metal ones to be like kind of like nuisance some. I would say that's still something to like work on. So even if you end up buying clips, like go over in the corner and maybe do like 2 or 3 sets and like just grip them a couple of times. But no, you don't have to do
your grip strength workouts, buddy, people.
Yeah, program that in.
Program it.
So I bring clips. I bring chalk for most workouts. If I'm going to do like pull-ups, deadlifts. So I'll usually chalk up on mostly pulling movements, as you mentioned. And I'll usually like double or triple bag them, like a plastic bag. Or I've seen people bring them in Tupperware. I might switch to doing Tupperware.
I do Tupperware.
Yeah. But if you do Tupperware, especially depending on like how well the seal is, you might want to like rubber band it. Just because we had a friend who would also put them in plastic bags, and he spilled it on the CTA, and some guy thought he like spilled cocaine like all over him, so he like sprinted off with the CTA, like screaming and yelling. So maybe make sure they're like very well like secured.
Yeah. That's funny.
I don't bring a belt. I actually don't have a belt currently, but I've been like looking at different ones.
You used the one at the gym.
I use one at the gym, yeah, which is just like a Velcro one, which is fine. It gets the job done for me. I was lifting without a belt up until recently, and I've really been kind of trying to like push and crush my PRs.
Get them holes.
Yeah. But there's like a lot of different types of belts. There's like leather belts. There's like different fasteners you can use for different belts. Rise has some really interesting fasteners that they use for the belts. Jeff Nippert has some good content on that if you want to look into it. I think he's also supported by or sponsored by Rise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What belt do you have? Is it a Rise belt? Or?
No, I have an Inzer belt.
Okay.
InzerBelt.com. It has a forever warranty.
Oh, that's super cool.
And it's hand stitched and everything. So if like,
it's heavy and like it feels like super durable too. Which
I think that belt's going on 4 years, and I don't even know. I haven't made like a dent on like somewhat even breaking it or the belt. Maybe I just don't lift it up.
Do they sponsor Omar Isaf, or is he partner with them, or is he like a
friend there?
Yeah,
I don't know if he even uses it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to like look at belts because like I've had one for so long. The only other reason why I would get another one is to get like a wider one for squats.
Yeah.
Because the one I have is not as wide, and I've heard like a wider belt would help you keep like your spine neutral and everything a little bit better when it's under heavier loads. So maybe.
Yeah.
But did you have anything else like in the bag you want to go over?
I think that's it. I don't really bring a lot with me. My training journal and a bottle of water.
Yeah, you do. I mean, for me, honestly, full disclosure, I've gotten all this equipment over the years, and I've asked for like my birthday, Christmas present, So if it is a lot, then half of it's not bought by me.
Yeah, but you also find that it's useful for
It
you.
is,
So.
yeah. So I just want to throw it out there because people are like, damn, this guy's got like $300, $400 worth of equipment. This is from what I remember. I forgot to jot down and look at my bag before writing this down. Belts, squat shoes, which is the Nike Romaleos.
Those are really nice.
They're the Generation 2, but they were like around like $230. Straps, wrist wraps, knee sleeves, deadlift wedge, the hook wrap that I don't use anymore. So if anyone wants it, let me know. Chalk, compression cuffs, and a mouth guard.
Slingshot, right?
Oh, and a slingshot.
Yeah.
See?
You have 2 different slingshots too, don't you?
Just one.
Okay, one. Okay.
Yeah, I just have the full bore one, the yellow one, which I don't know the resistance on. They do have different resistance on it. But yeah, I think that's anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. I'd say the one thing that for like equipment, either picking up or like using like your local gyms like belt. Like belts are so important. Even
the
like
local gyms by me don't have belts.
Really? That's
Yeah,
so
I think you have to go to like the more private ones.
Yeah.
Cause like when we were in Texas, there's a gym we went to that had like 20 belts for the
really
members.
cool. That's
like
really
literally insert belts,
Velcro
belts, anything.
That's really cool.
I've in the gyms I've been to.
So it's a good thing to look for then
Yeah.
in a gym that like a prospective gym if you just moved to a new location or if you're like sick and tired of your gym and you want to try something different. A belt's super important. Like if you're a beginning lifter, I think that a belt can be a really powerful learning tool for like, especially if you're a kinesthetic learner, so you learn like by feel. You just put on a belt and then you can feel like the bracing of your core. So that would be like, you could even program that in for, some people program in like breathing exercises. For like intermediate lifters, a belt certainly is going to make sure that you get more out of your deadlift, your squats. Some people will even wear belts when they bench. I haven't really messed around with that too much. And then if you're an advanced lifter, like by and large, because you've used a belt for so long, you would just have honed in on that skill so much. And since it's like essentially like an additional sheath of armor around your iron core, it would help you like lift a whole lot more.
I love it. I love how you define that. But yeah, well, I think this is the end of it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We always appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a lot of people about it, and we'll see you on that next one. Peace.